Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Well, you know what time it is. It's market update time. Gave us some mixed signals when we look at the triangle housing market, especially in the cities that I cover. These updates, Raleigh, Apex, Cary, and Holly Springs. And it's very interesting because the luxury homes over $750,000 are holding steady in some areas, cooling in just one of the areas. But the overall market, when we look at all price points, the price points are definitely coming down in those markets. And I'm going to have an interesting statistic about which price range is getting hit the hardest. Hi, I'm Trish Dare with Dare Realty Group. For those of you who don't know me, and I help buyers just like you relocate to the Raleigh, North Carolina area and surrounding suburbs. Today, I'm going over the market numbers like I do every month to see what changes we're seeing in the market, and I focus on the luxury market, $750,000 and above. However, today I'm going to be looking at all price points across those towns to see a different picture of what's happening from all price points to the $750,000 and above. Let's start off with Apex, where the luxury market had a median price increase of $908,000. And so that's up about 3.5% over last year. Days on market is improving just a little bit, and days on market is about 8 days. So homes are selling faster than they did last year. Inventory, however, has doubled to 104 homes. And we're seeing that now buyers, as I've been mentioning the last few updates, have more opportunity with the increase of those inventory levels. But here's the real difference. When we look at all price points, the median home price is $652,000. And we're seeing a 9.3% decrease from last year. So the luxury market is holding steady and it's actually increasing a little bit in Apex, but the broader market is definitely softening a little bit. And what I'm finding is when we dig deeper into those numbers, we're finding it's a certain price point that's getting hit the hardest. And that price point is from $500,000 to about $650,000. The rest of the price points are pretty flat or maybe just a little bit up or slightly down, but nothing significant. Next, moving on to Holly Springs, we also see that the luxury prices have gone up about 2% to $804,000. And houses here are flying off the shelf. Their average days on market is about 3 days, showing us that buyers are buying the more expensive homes in Holly Springs. However, the sales volume is a little bit lower with 22 sold compared to 28 last year, so not a big difference. And then, of course, inventory did tick up to 44 homes. But here's the real difference. When we look at the entire Holly Springs market, the median home price dropped 17% to $593,000 with 129 homes available. So what's this saying? The luxury market is still very competitive. In fact, people are buying those larger homes and they're buying quick, especially with that 3 days on average on market. But the overall market is under a little bit of pressure, especially again in that $500,000 to $650,000 range. That's where we're seeing the most reduction in year-over-year pricing. And then when we look at Cary's luxury market, the median home price actually slipped down a little bit to $966,000, and that's down about 3.4% from last year, different than what's happening in Apex and Holly Springs. And the houses were on the market an average of 15 days compared to 12 last year. So that's pretty stable. There are 114 homes, which is a 42% increase. So it's given buyers a little bit more breathing room in Cary. And then when we look at the overall median home price, that's sitting around $690,000, which is also down about 8% over last year. And there are 233 homes currently available across all price points. So both the luxury market, 750 above, and the overall market is cooling a little bit in Cary. And then finally, looking at Raleigh, we see the median home price for luxury homes climbing again to $1.25 million. And that's about a 10% increase over last year. But here's the thing in Raleigh, homes are taking longer to sell. In fact, the median home price for the luxury market is about 29 days on the market, which compared to last year was about 18 days. And also the inventory is up in Raleigh with about 433 luxury homes on the market currently. And then when we look at all price points for Raleigh, the median home price is about $588,000. And that is actually up 5.8% over last year. And overall, there's about 1,100 homes on the market. So Raleigh is the real outlier. The luxury market is slowing down with longer days on the market, but the median home prices in both the luxury segment and the overall market are increasing. in Raleigh. So here's the bottom line. Apex and Cary show very different stories on whether you're looking at the luxury market or the full market. The median home price in the luxury market is increasing, whereas when we look at all price points, the median home price is declining. The median home prices in Cary are cooling both in the luxury market and the overall market. And then in Raleigh, luxury buyers can take their time, but at the lower price point, competition is still driving prices up. So as always, if you're thinking or selling, let's sit down and look at your specific neighborhood. These numbers tell the story, but details really matter when it comes to your home and making sure you're really going local in the statistics, because numbers can change depending on the town as well as the neighborhood, and sometimes, as I mentioned before, within the neighborhood. So make sure you keep following for more market updates, and like this video if you found it helpful. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss next month's market update, and of course all the videos that I put out about living in the Raleigh, North Carolina area and surrounding suburbs. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.